Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video, I'm going to share some information with you on a lovely little plant that loves the water, and this is Bacopa Monnieri. And if you have ever researched nootropics or nootropics, something that's a natural boost for your brain, you've probably run into this if you've been searching for natural things, herbal remedies, or anything that boosts your brain function naturally. You've probably run across Bacopa Monnieri. There are a couple other species of Bacopa, but the one we're going to talk about specifically today is Bacopa Monnieri. Now, this is also known as water hyssop. That might be a little more familiar with you. Also known as the herb of grace in India. So this plant is originally from India, and it loves the water. It loves swamplands, wetlands. It's actually one of those plants that can completely grow underneath the water. So this is something that people who own aquariums and different things where they want to have plants that are featured, they can grow Bacopa and it will grow underneath the water. But it typically will thrive in wetlands, marshy places. Of course, now it grows in all around the world in different places. It does grow in the United States, in places in Florida, Texas, the Gulf of Mexico. There's any place where there's water, standing water, even a little bit tepid water or brackish water, you will find Bacopa growing. Now, I first started studying Bacopa Monnieri when I was putting together my Brain Glow formula. And if you've heard me tell the story, I spent a couple of years doing a bunch of research, and I had a notebook full of research on about 48 plants that all had some benefit for the brain. And I ended up narrowing it down for the final formula to 8 herbs. And Bacopa, or water hyssop, made it into the mix because it is such a beautiful plant. It's been around for centuries. In fact, they figured that the use of it in Ayurvedic medicine is over 3,000 years old. And this is one of those things that when you start to study these old ancient herbal remedies that have been, these plants that are put on this earth to help humans thrive, this is one that you might run across if you are looking to improve cognitive function and also reduce stress and anxiety, because Bacopa is what's known as an adaptogen, but it has a special affinity for the head, for memory, for improving cognitive function. And in fact, I've got some really great things. I've pulled my notes out because I wanted to share these with you. It's been a long time since I visited these notes, more than 10 years. And so let me just go through a quick list of its health benefits. But before I do, just know that the information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is my own opinion. It's based on my own research, and it is not meant to be medical advice. So please do your own research and do your own diligence. Based on my own research and the things that I've been personally experiencing using Bacopa for more than 10 years on a pretty much daily basis, is it enhances memory and cognitive function, reduces anxiety and stress. It has neuroprotective properties. That means it protects the neurons in your brain. Bacopa has powerful antioxidants that protect neurons from oxidative stress, reducing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Dementia, Alzheimer's, neurodegenerative diseases. So there are plants that actually can help protect. It has powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. So the compounds in Bacopa help reduce inflammation and protect cells from the damage caused by free radicals. That's what antioxidants do, right? Supports nervous system health. In fact, in Ayurveda medicine, it was used for its calming effects for things like epilepsy, ADHD, and even nervous exhaustion. You think of all the things that come at us just with modern stress and modern living and all the things happening in the world, whatever they might be happening. If you're listening to this 10 years down the road from when I'm filming this in 2025, there will still be stress. There'll still be modern stress, but it might be just different than what we're looking at right now, right? Or who knows? We might be in the new earth. We might be in prime reality in 10 years. That would be amazing, right? I might have to come back and visit this video. It's also been shown to boost mood and mental clarity. Water hyssop can act as a natural antidepressant, promoting a positive mood. And this was one of the reasons that I put it in my Brain Glow, is because this helps to like kind of like calm a monkey brain. And skullcap also made it into my brain glow because it calms a monkey brain. It doesn't make you tired. It doesn't make you groggy. It doesn't make you sleepy. In fact, it does quite the opposite. It brings you mental clarity. It brings you focus. So water hyssop is one of those ones that can help calm your system and be a slight antidepressant. This is where the adaptogenic beauty of some herbs come in. Think about an adaptogen. It adapts to what your body needs. And this is the beauty of some plants like this. Now here, this is also really cool. And this is where plants just blow me away. So this also supports heart health. There is research that suggests that Bacopa can help regulate blood pressure and cholesterol levels. There's all these added bonuses and benefits that come not just for what you might be taking something for. It also aids in digestion and reduces stomach ulcers. Traditional use includes treating digestive issues such as ulcers, bloating, and irritable bowel syndrome. So I thought that that was such a beautiful list of things that this plant does. Now, if you were to take a look at this plant, it has little white flowers, and it's not a very big plant. It's kind of a viney plant. In fact, because it grows basically in the water, it doesn't have a lot of root system. So it's got these kind of little small stringy roots. It's a very small plant and it's like a creeping vine. It can grow across the water and it'll even grow in soil, but as long as it's marshy and continually wet. I did have a friend a long time ago who would grow water hyssop in a little jar of water on her kitchen counter. And you could see it sprout. The little things, the roots would sprout. Now, the part of the plant you use medicinally are the leaves and the stems. And even though the flowers have been used as well, it's the leaves and the stems that have all the medicinal benefits to them. Now, this is a very bitter plant, so it's difficult to add into your food for salads. In fact, you don't need a lot. I have personally taken a small Bacopa leaf and chewed on it, and really you don't need very much. You don't need very much to get the benefits. Besides, it is really bitter. Now, you can make a tea out of the dried leaves and stems, but I would suggest if you do that, well, you can definitely acquire a taste for it, but add a little bit of honey, maybe a little bit of stevia, and it can kind of take some of that bitter edge off, especially if you're taking Bacopa or water hyssop for improving cognitive function and all the things that I talked about. It can be really, really amazing. Now, it's also taken in the form of a tincture. So you can make a tincture, you can powder it and put it into capsules, or you can even powder it and put it a little bit into a smoothie or a little bit into a tea. This is one of those things you don't need a lot of, but this, from my perspective and the research I've done on this would be very difficult to take high doses and have it hurt you. So this is where the human being maybe loses some of its common sense, as we think a little bit is good. So a whole lot must be better. So what I would say is, I don't personally think that a whole lot's going to hurt you, but I think at a certain point you're wasting it and you just don't need it. You only need small amounts. So when I formulated the Brain Glow, the water, hyssop, or Bacopa is in there in exactly the right amount. Same with like the skullcap. The skullcap is only 4% of the formula. It's a tiny percent. So the thing is, there are beautiful benefits also to the synergy of herbs working together. And that's one thing that I absolutely love. So there's some really beautiful traditional and historical uses that I wanted to share with you about Bacopa. So in ancient Ayurveda and Indian medicine, Bacopa Monnieri has been used for over 3,000 years. It was believed to sharpen the intellect and was traditionally given to students and scholars to enhance their memory and learning. So think about that. For over 3,000 years, this has been used to help students and scholars. In fact, one of the things that I remember hearing about Bacopa Monnieri when I was researching it was that it's not necessarily going to help improve like deep learning, but it helps with retention. So it helps your memory. It helps you retain the things that you learn. So this is again one of the reasons that it made it into my formula. So it's been used by yogis and sages Ancient Indian texts mention that Hindu sages and yogis use Bacopa to aid them in meditation and spiritual clarity. I have taken water hyssop by itself prior to meditation. I need to, just thinking about that, I need to add that in maybe every week or so when I'm doing my meditation, is add just some water hyssop and see if that enhances my spiritual clarity when I'm doing meditating. That's actually such a beautiful reminder. In Chinese medicine, Bacopa was used for improving brain function, and it was used to treat anxiety and stress and related disorders. Some indigenous Australian groups reportedly used it for treating wounds, burns, and skin conditions. So one of the things I love about herbs like this is when you start to do some due diligence and you start really researching all the different plants and where they grow, you realize there's this beautiful web of plants that grow in different places in the world that have not just deep, rich history, but there's generations and generations of indigenous people wherever they've lived that have used these and documented and passed on generation to generation the medicinal properties and the benefits of some of these plants. So I would suggest that you do some of your own due diligence on Bacopa Monnieri. This beautiful water-loving plant is something that has started to get a lot of research in the last, I would say, 10 or 15 years, especially when I started researching nootropics and something to help improve my brain function naturally as I get older. This was something that I discovered, and in almost every herbal nootropic that I ran across, almost every one of them had Bacopa Monnieri in it. So, and for a reason. This is a very, very special plant. So I'd love to know what you think about Bacopa Monnieri, water hyssop, or Brahmi, also known as the herb of grace. So think about that. What a beautiful name. Can you imagine the impact that you've had on humanity if you are named the herb of grace? That is perfect. So let me know what you think about Bacopa. And if you've used it, if you grow it, do you know how to harvest it where you live? That would be something I would love to do. So thanks for tuning in today, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.